folks. Richard Reyes, certified financial planner and Orlando's own financial quarterback. And today, let's talk about love. Okay? We already know that it's already complicated enough to get married a first time. So consider getting married a second, a third, or fourth time. That can be very confusing, very complicated, and especially gets to be more of an issue as you get older and are going into retirement. It can often be confusing, and I think that aside from love and companionship, it's important that you approach that second marriage or third marriage like any other financial obligation, and you need to be very careful. So here's a couple of steps that I thought I'd throw out here for you to consider with your new spouse. And I think first and foremost, the number one thing is full disclosure. You need to know everything financially about this person: credit history, debts, assets, income, obligations obligations in reference to a divorce decree, obligations from the standpoint of they were sued, if they have judgments, etc. You need to know everything. It's much cheaper to be surprised before you say I do and sign on the dotted line than after. Number two is, you know what? You need to consider drafting a prenup. You must protect, again, your assets, and you must protect your children. Now, if you're bringing in assets into the marriage, and it doesn't really have to be significant. I think people think that you have to be considerably wealthy. You do not. But if you're bringing in assets, businesses, real estate into the marriage, it's important to consider drafting that prenup, especially, again, if you have kids. And I don't really care if your kids are 13 or 75. It doesn't really matter. If you have kids, it's important that, especially from a previous marriage, obviously, it's important to protect them as well. And understand that just because you have a prenup doesn't mean that you can't carve out a portion of money to leave to your spouse in case something were to happen to you. Number three is you need to set joint priorities. Understand that you're not alone anymore. Understand that you're bringing in somebody new to the relationship. So make sure that, at least financially, that you're both kind on the same roadmap as far as financial priorities and what your objectives are. This is also a time where you review mingling of your money. This can get complicated, and some couples get a little bit bent out of shape about it. I'm not going to tell you if there's a right way or a wrong way to do, but I am going to tell you that, hey, there is a portion you're going to have to commingle. It's just, you know, you have bills and you have so on, things that you have to take care of. So there is a portion that has to be joint, and even from an estate planning standpoint or from a protection standpoint, it should be joint. Last but certainly not least is, again, this is where you bring in somebody new, and especially if they have their family, you have your family. This is where it's important to understand that you must update your estate plans. Here again is where you protect your kids, you protect your assets, and you protect one another. Okay? So years of experience with clients have taught me that taking care of these very simple steps, okay, can get a marriage off on the right foot, and also provide a solid foundation for the future. So with that, I'll see you next time on Financial QB TV. Thanks for tuning in.